So let's imagine that you've got your idea and your mindset's in the right place. You believe that you've got a product or service that would be good, that you could go ahead with, and you know that you're capable of doing it. So now you would get to planning. And planning is an important stage. If you try and remember that planning produces productive performance, and think of it that way, that it's an important stage. So the first thing that you would need to do is to do a bit of research about the product or service that you have decided on, to get some feedback as to whether other people think that it would be a good idea or service. So you might think the idea is great, and it might be, but it's important to get feedback from others to how they would receive your product or service. And one of the ways that you can do that is on SurveyMonkey. So you can literally create your own survey, and you can include in that questions, do they like the product, do they like the service, would they buy it, are there any changes they would make, would they have any recommendations to add to it, or is there anything that they don't like about it? And that can give you quite a lot of information to work on to go to the next level. But to do that, you need to be really, really, really clear about your niche. So who is the ideal client for your product or service? So you can't be something to everybody. It's no good going out there and thinking, oh, everybody suits my service or my product. You can't be everything to everyone, because you'll end up being nothing to no one. It's really much better if you narrow down who your service is good for. It's really quite specific, quite small. You only need a small percentage of people to be interested in what you do. So don't go out there trying to please everybody. You just can't please everybody. It's never going to happen. So narrow down your niche, who's your ideal client, and then you need to work out how can you get your survey or get this information from that group of people to give you feedback on your product. So SurveyMonkey is one way of doing it. You can get lists of people's email addresses. Like you could say, I want the email addresses of women between the ages of 30 and 40. And you can go to Experian, or there's several places like that if you Google it, where they will give you a list of email addresses of people within that age range, and you can just request them to do a survey. So if you request it from 100 people, even if only 50 or 30 reply, it will give you some feedback on the next step. So that's a really important point, and I hope that helps you. Bye for now.